Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show. It's a great day to be alive. I'm so happy to have you here with me. And where with me is in the forest in Santa Cruz. I have redwoods all around me. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, you can see the absolute beauty around me. There is even a brook, which if you're listening, you might be able to pick up and hear. It's just absolutely beautiful. And I want to invite you, before I get into my topic today, I want to invite you to join the Heal Your Hunger tribe on Facebook. So if you want to continue the conversation, if you want to get updates on what's going on with Heal Your Hunger and what new invitations there are for just being able to dig deeper into your own healing and be a part of a community of people who are overcoming emotional eating, please join us there. Just go to Facebook and type in Heal Your Hunger Tribe and request to join, and we would welcome you. We'd love to have you. I also want to invite you to take the quiz, the emotional eating quiz. If you haven't done that yet, go to healyourhunger.com and find out if you're an emotional eater or a food addict. You'll get a personalized score and some action steps to take after that. So for today's show, I really just want to talk about something I don't usually talk about, in fact, and I have to tell you that that's the reason why I'm talking about it today, is because it's something that's been missing in my life, and that's nature. There's such a beautiful quality of serenity and surrender and peacefulness in nature, and I'm certainly in it right now in the forest, and it's so, so beautiful. But what's so important about this and the way it pertains to the topic of emotional eating is that, so often in our lives we are disconnected from ourselves, from our bodies. So much of the time as emotional eaters, we're in our heads, right? We're thinking, we're trying to figure out, we're trying to get a handle on things, read about, diet and exercise and food behaviors and psychology. And we're just in our heads trying to figure it out, trying to get a handle on things, trying to, noodle and tweak and figure out. And it's just too much in our heads and not enough in our bodies and in our souls. And the beautiful thing about nature is that there's nothing intellectual about nature. Nature is completely in its essence. The trees, these redwoods, which have been around for centuries, the streaming brook, the beautiful plants and wildlife and insects, they just are, they're completely embodied in who they are, and they don't think a whole lot about it, right? They're just being. They're the most beautiful examples of beingness. And while I don't want to go too woo-woo on you, I just think this is an important thing for us to think about as emotional eaters. What can we do to get more connected to our bodies and to ourselves, just as nature is? How can we get out of our heads and into our bodies? I've just spent the past week actually in Colorado. I had a beautiful time. I celebrated my birthday. I went to see my mother and my stepdad in Colorado, and it was just a beautiful opportunity for me to be in nature. I live in Los Angeles, and LA is awesome in so many ways. I love it, and it's very beautiful in many ways. It's also a city, one of the largest cities in the country. So there's a lot of concrete, a lot of roads, a lot of traffic, a lot of smog. And of course, we have some nature and wildlife, and for a large city, it has amazing opportunities for hiking and biking and being by the ocean and lots of nature. But at the same time, as you know, it is a metropolitan area, so it's really important for me to get out into nature and to be able to just breathe in the beautiful fresh air, to witness the mountains, to witness the trees and all of the wildlife. I even saw a baby fox. It was on the road, sweet little baby fox. And deer. It was just so beautiful. No bears this time. I didn't see any bears. But what it did for me is it helped me to really reset and to get out of my head and into my body and into my soul. And so I took several walks. I hiked. I visited with friends. It was just a great vacation, but it was really an opportunity for me to really drop down into my heart and into my body, and to just be with nature, be with the beingness of nature. And it was so beautiful. I'm so grateful that I had this opportunity. So, what I invite you to do is to really learn, learn from nature, be in nature, take time away in your day. It's beautiful summertime most places right now. Take time to walk outside, be barefoot in the grass. Let your feet touch the grass. Take your shoes off. Walk in the sand on the beach. Stretch, do yoga poses in the grass, on the ground. Do whatever you can this summer to take those moments. They don't have to be long time, sections of time. You don't have to take a vacation in the mountains. You can literally do this wherever you are. Just take a break, schedule some time for a walk, grab a friend and go for a walk on a trail. Drive out of town if you're in a metropolitan area. Where are the trails? Where are the beautiful nature paths? The parks. They're around us all the time. I personally don't take advantage of this enough. I live probably 4 miles from the ocean, and I don't go to the Santa Monica beach enough and put my feet in the water. So I just invite you to do this. I think it's an awesome opportunity to reconnect with nature. Then another thing that I find about nature that's so wonderful is, many years ago I lived in Seattle, and I had grown up on the East Coast, and in Seattle you have these booming mountains, Mount Rainier, and Mount Hood, and these other large mountains that tower over you. I'd never seen anything like it. On the East Coast, the mountains are pretty moderate. And I'm being generous. They're not big, they're not towering. You don't look up at them. But in Seattle, you have to crook your neck, literally, to look at Mount Rainier. It's so looming and large. And what I found in that is a beautiful humility, to see mountains that are so large and so grand helped me realize my place in the world, which is not as big as I make it. We tend to get caught up in our schedules, and we tend to, see our problems as so big and so daunting and so life, threatening or just serious, and what we need once in a while is perspective. Once in a while we need to look around us and see that beautiful nature, that, those mountains and those trees that are all around us, that have been there for centuries, centuries they've been there doing their thing, and the, the geology around us, the rocks and the minerals, these things have been around for so long. And it just really puts my problems in perspective to realize, I'm here for a blink of an eye, and then I'm gone. And so the problems that I think are so momentous, really, in the grand scheme of things, in the scheme of, the thousands and millions of years that this planet has existed, that these plants and this, the animals and the evolution of the animals has existed, it really puts my life in perspective. And I need that perspective, once in a while, hopefully more often than not. But I do get caught up in myself, and I get caught up in how important my problems are, or the tasks of the day, or the crises of the day. Some technology doesn't go right in my business, or one of my team members, isn't present, or she took a vacation and all of a sudden I've got more work to do, or whatever. These things make me serious. They make me feel like everything is so important and my life is such a big deal, when it's not. And I think nature gives us that perspective and that sense of humility to realize that everything's in divine order. There is a divine order, and I don't direct the sun and the moon and the stars and nature. That exists without my effort. It's peaceful, it's beautiful, it's working, and that's how my life can be when I let go and I surrender and I give it all to God. There is a divine order, there's a divine rhythm in everything, in every living thing, and if I will tap into that divine order, I can relax. I can relax, I can just be, and I can realize that nothing's a big deal. I'm not a big deal. whatever problem is at hand is not a big deal, and it's all going to be okay. And even things that are actually big deals, in the greater scheme of things, they're all a part of life. They're the part of the cycle of life, and I don't have to get worked up about it. I can just breathe. I invite you to breathe right now. I can breathe, and I can witness, I can observe, I can experience, and I can just be, just like nature, just like those towering trees all around me, just like the birds and the river and the brook that I'm listening to right now, and the wind and the stars and the grass. One of my favorite quotes in the Bible is about, it's from Matthew, about the lilies of the field. They neither labor nor spin, yet not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. I love the lilies of the field, and the reminder that I don't need to worry but what I will eat or what I will drink or what I will wear. For my Heavenly Father knows that I need these things and is surely taking care of my needs every moment of the day. And that's the truth. And that's what nature reminds me of. So I'm just here with a short message to remind you to take a break and experience the grandeur of nature, because it has so many lessons for us, so much to teach us. And when we do take that break, we can tap into the truth that all is in divine order. We can drop into our bodies and realize that, we are a part of nature. We can get out of our heads, stop figuring things out, and just be and allow things to unfold as they're meant to unfold, just like nature unfolds as it's meant to unfold. So I hope this helps. It's just a short message for you from the woods of Santa Cruz. Thanks so much for listening. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next show. Take care.